Look, Carol.
Good morning.
Hello. Donnie, hello, Dave.
I'll look into it and see if they're gonna consider some strictly
Hello.
a fine or if they're considered lesser.
Left my window down on the truck last
I'm
night.
pretty good. How are you this morning?
I've done that.
Nice damn fries.
I'm putting 4 towels down still.
Oh, are you okay? Well, I moved yesterday, so I'm kind of tired.
Good. Oh, yeah.
It's all inside though, so.
Hello, Don. Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Stand for the pledge of allegiance. How are you, Cindy?
I'm good, thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. First item on the agenda is a public comment. Here we have Darrell Ramsey and Buck Stevens here. What can we do for you all?
Rex, you go first. Well, we got several things. I made a little note, but I forget it all. We have, Howard Blindmark. He died and we left us $5,200.
Okay.
We're planning on using some of that to put a roof on the cabins.
Okay.
We know we need it. Hopefully, next week at the board meeting, they go longer.
Okay.
Pool is gonna be closed, they'll look for that. Can't get light on. The air conditioning, cafeteria, we've had so much trouble with it. Ever since it was put in, it wasn't big enough, wouldn't work. We've had everybody in there for bill for me. One of the older ladies up there had passed out from the heat. I said, well, it's time we do something, so we got air conditioning come in. We went out and looked at the air conditioner, back in and said, the biggest problem is it's not a 5-ton, it's a 3-ton. So it might carry it, but not the way it was set up. So he looked at all of them and told us all was wrong. We got the prisoners back yesterday. Yesterday we took the air conditioning, all that outside down, and we put it on still, like we did it to the benefit. Which would give us directly into the house instead of going up, wasting all that space. The vents on the inside weren't big enough. We had 2 of the vents that was inside, along with the out in the dining room, not in the kitchen. The ductwork was wrong, so we ordered that. We're going to go ahead and get what we needed, and we're going to pick it up and put it to the price. Yeah. So we got that plugged in. The bathroom that you work with us on. We think we can go ahead and start that. I checked to see about the concrete. What I'd like to do would be pour the floor this fall. And their outlets going to be outside. And moving that air conditioner. If we're going to do it anyway, I said, let's move it. So we move it over to the side. That is whenever we're at it. You follow me? Now, if we get that in for floor again, concrete floor, put the pipes in, and then we can do the rest of it. The concrete would be $885. I asked for a 2020 slab, that would be bigger than that. It won't be 2020, it'll be longer than the time on the slab. They'll take that bigger all I got.
Big cycle.
Oh yeah, big cycle, we know about that. He's on the board now. And his first day on the job, we went to work cutting dead trees. And he's cleaning up, he knows what he's doing. Mom and I went trucking. The 3 big ones were afraid was going to fall over on us. dining room, put it in the dungeon. Took those three out first, and then done the bank, it was involved with it, got some of them out of there. And we didn't cut down anything, but had like, he don't like cutting anything, so, and then it was wrong. He said, leave it. So we only, what we took out was dead. The prisoners came yesterday, we got 2 months. And he took one of them, 2 of them, yesterday morning, we started home, set up, while it had been running. And we found 3 more sewer lines busted. And we're working on that this week. They're about to help with the big cabin. The whole place is out, people. And we got plenty there to do. Other than that, that about covered?
Okay, covers that part. The other part is your finance side of the rec center. As you know, whenever I took over, there had been 3 camps that had pulled away from the rec center. I've met with 2 of those. One of them still hasn't given me their answer to return, and the other is Calhoun 4-H. I met with them last Tuesday, and we spoke for probably about 2 hours going over issues that we could resolve as a group to get their services back. When she left, she shook my hand and she said, we'll probably be back. They vote this evening down at Calhoun County for their leaders meeting, and she will let me know. That's a $10,000 camp that we probably will be getting back. The other one, I'm not sure when we recover it. It was an all-girls camp for 30 years from Charleston. So they're struggling a little bit because of the school being closed. You can go till June 30th. They said they probably can't because I only had the July left. So all camps are over. Everybody was well received this year. We did not pay anybody for payroll for the cafeteria. I take that back, we did have to pay 4 hours for 1 cook because I had jury duty. The rest was all volunteers. This guy here, he came and volunteered, Gary Ratliff, when we had 29 leaks in the bathroom out of the dining hall. He came and rented the backhoe. So we're back on getting a lot of volunteers back at the rec center, which we're glad. So finance-wise, we're coming up, we're sitting on $21,000. Reed called me last night. We had a $1,100 October block. I thought it was a $1,000 weekend. This past weekend, it was $1,100. So we're still not rich by any means. We still need the commission to help us with things, but we are getting turned back around and getting back on track. Please put in your paper, Dave, if you would, on the web and in there that the pool is closed. We can't find lifeguards. Andrea Starcher is to take the test hopefully this week to recert. And if she does, then we may be able to open up a few Saturdays and offer some pool parties. And that would be it. But the general public part, it's going to be over because we just don't have the manpower to do it.
What, something you and I have talked about for a while, Daryl, we probably ought to figure out some sort of a fundraiser, start raising some money.
October 4th is our first fundraiser, which you guys didn't have a board meeting in July. So I picked the date as October 4th for elimination dinner. But I got to get you all to meet as a board to get that approved. And then December 13th is tentative, if you all approve, a Christmas auction. So, and then the best basket bingo, we're flipping in between February and March. So I'm on.
Okay.
And then I told Bob, far as monies with these cabin roofs and stuff, that's the elimination dinner can either, we can designate it to go towards the roof or to the dining hall bathrooms, which there's still a leak.
Yeah.
So we're handicapped right now. And Larry, if you remember when I was there before, you all paid for the sewer line from behind the Calico put around. Now it is the pink cabin. That's what's got to do. But we've got the funding, we're gonna do that, to take that. We also, I seen on your agenda, Rita had also told me that we got another bill from Hayden Harper, and then I've seen your agenda that you guys will discuss that today for the gas bill that hadn't been paid for the rec center, because they hadn't submitted it for 2 years. So somebody let us know what to do so we can get a hold of Rita. Also, Dave, if you could put in the paper that the rec center does not have the cell number anymore. A lot of people have been calling that. The new number is 304-904-3450. That's my personal cell, so we're going to cut that from the rec center so we can save money. That's about $1,200 to $1,300 a year that we're paying out for that. So I think that's probably about it for us funding.
I appreciate they have anybody put up,
Yeah.
That sounds like things are pointed in the right direction out there for sure.
We're trying, and we want to thank Cindy Wilson for working with me and Susie Kirkpatrick on writing the letter to the prison. You wrote the letter, you know, with what we had asked you to put in it, and about 6 days later, we got the prisoners. So October 10th will be their last day. And we're with hopes of getting all the cabins real inside painted, outside painted. They're in dire needs. So I'm not afraid to do a fundraiser that doesn't make the money for paint.
So, yeah, we have the prisoners until October 10th, which we got them on the 10th, that'll make it 2 months.
2 months.
2 months, and then we can ask for one again, so we have to follow another. This guy seems to be pretty easy to get along with, so.
Yeah.
And they gave us 4 this time instead of 3. But we got them.
Yes.
They are
Yes.
all working, everyone.
Leon Butler's who was working with that. We also talked to Naisha Butcher whenever camp was going on. She had the 4 prisoners to work at the high school. And I said, how are you going to feed them? And she said, we don't know that yet. And I said, the rec center will feed them. So we had a revenue of almost $400 there of feeding them because we took them each day from the rec center while we were cooking anyway for camps. So that was another tap in revenue that we hadn't had before.
Very good.
So anything you guys are laying around and want to donate, we will.
Yeah,
If you have no place else to put it.
money laying around is no problem for us. Okay, thank you,
Thank
folks.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you
See you,
say
bud.
safety? Yeah.
3.
Okay. They were hard workers.
Gary?
Yes, what I have here is a letter from the state. Give them fire department back.
Okay.
Any questions, I guess, Martin wants to bring it in. He said, you guys need a copy of it.
Okay.
And all of the, well, I'm gonna say 90% of the some people we ask is already in the school group. So, you know, they decided they wanted to put it back, you know, we have to put it back into the fire department. Where they do, you know, they had a,
Okay.
It'll save you money too. We have our own workers comp.
That's a good deal.
well, like I say, 90% is already in the school group, so they're already under the workman's comp.
So you cover one group, will have the same coverage you've already got covered.
So does that mean you'd like to cancel the policy that we took out about a year ago, covered volunteers when we were on duty, that was 13,
Well, there,
about $647.
that was insurance, right?
Yeah, liability.
Yeah.
There might be 2 members that we have right now that's not covered.
They would be covered though, since it's
Yeah.
under the fire department, so.
Because the way we're set up, I mean, if somebody wanted to join force, they can kind of flip over into the sport group side, and that puts them automatically into this, so.
Them being covered under this, if we move them over, it seems to me they'd be covered under the fire department's umbrella, but liability insurance, they've already.
Yes, I'd say the answer is yes.
Okay, we just saved you $600, roof one of the guys.
To cancel the policy.
I'd make the motion to go ahead and move the CERT program back underneath the umbrella of the fire department as represented in this letter, and cancel the policy that we have in place that provided they are covered under, make sure that they are going to be covered underneath the fire department's policy.
Second. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Cindy, you need to make a copy of this.
I
You
think
can just tell
that
us,
is-
you can
that
keep
is
it.
correct.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I guess that's all I have.
Okay.
Melissa, who
Thank
would
you.
we talk to confirm that they are actually coming into the workers' comp for the fire department?
Martin knows that, but you'll not find him today because I'm pretty sure they're gonna want him back.
Okay.
Good,
I'll
just
follow up.
have them send back a letter or
Okay.
something, making sure that they're covered, whether it's, from, Graham or workers' comp, whoever that might be, that they've got the coverage through.
Okay.
I've been trying to catch Martin for a couple days.
Okay.
Would you ask him just
So
maybe
fine.
before the week's over, give me a call?
Okay.
I thought I'd cross paths with him, but I hadn't.
No, he works during the day and he's been working all
But
day.
if he gets a chance sometime this week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Sir? Yeah.
Is that saving $600 a month roughly? or
A year.
Year.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any, is there anything else on that public comment? Okay. I think we're ready for the sheriff. I'm telling you. Is he over there sending? Hello, Sheriff.
Well, good morning. I'm real short to the point this morning, but just to acknowledge the return order of police. I've made another $1,500 donation, that's about it.
Well,
And I'll do it like I did the last one and put it in the general county fund. Use it for something, I don't know what we'll do with it.
okay.
We should have a vehicle coming up.
We still have the,
That'd be great,
be here.
because we were close on that thing. We're close. We're close.
Yeah.
So that's great. Do they do that every year?
Last year, we actually got $3,000, but we're like everybody else, so we're like that.
Yeah.
But we did get a couple of donations for stuff like 4-H. We got, I think, $500 coming. They should have voted on last week, the second reading of it for 4-H. Their rifle team out there, we're going to buy them a couple of air rifles.
Now remind us, the fraternal order
fraternal order
is out of where? Where's this?
Lot
one?
114, we covered Gilmer, Braxton, Lewis, Upshur. Not all, myself, I've been a member for 15 years now, I think. All the deputies are members there.
That's great.
We had one meeting in Glenville, one in Burnsville, and then one in Buchanan. It's pretty good. Also, first of February sometime, we had a little drug thing over here on River Street, and the guy made a deal with the state over it. We had taken $3,000 and some cash. He forfeited that money to us. Well, chapter 61 of the law says we've got to divide that, and the prosecutor gets 10%, and any other police agency and us has to divide it. Well, the city was involved in it, and the sheriff's department. So we ended up with $1,506 for that. Now, that specifically has to be used for our fight against drugs. So I've got it in there, which we'll use it for drug fights and stuff.
Well, congratulations on
Yeah.
the donation.
Well, thank you. I just wanted to acknowledge you guys to be aware that, the return order of police is pretty good.
Thank you.
Thanks.
How about exonerations and consolidation? What? That was the fair, Tom.
Good. That was on 67 or 34.
Really?
It's just like a little missing, rain holds up something together. It's not quarter right now. You'll do it every year, don't you?
Oh, this is your last split.
Looks like it does.
Your copy? My copy?
Cindy, the last meeting I was in here, I left my phone charger in here, and somebody swiped it. It was the white one I left.
Yeah, I don't, there was, you left it here several meetings ago, and I pulled it out of your box and laid it on your desk for the last meeting. I thought you took it.
Because you saw it laying here.
I don't know what happened, it disappeared after that meeting.
There's iPhone 5 chargers, you can leave those others lay anywhere, but those iPhone 5 chargers, you leave one of them lay somewhere, they won't lay there
They're
long.
hard to find, I needed one this week, and
They're like $26 or $28 a piece. Like I said, all the rest of them, you can leave them lay anywhere.
Because they charge everything there is,
Yeah.
besides the iPhone.
Stand,
I don't remember, I thought, I assumed you must have
It
taken
doesn't
it
buy off.
that day.
Yeah. Well, guaranteed.
What's the office of consolidation? Because that was split.
Right.
That's the consolidation, it was split. Move to approve the exonerations and request for separation of property.
Second. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. I'm going to stamp these on the outside, right underneath that. Yeah. Give me this. I swear.
Do you need your phone charged, Brian? Oh, I don't have mine with me today.
Oh, see, it's kind of like that.
Sorry.
Like, are you hungry? I don't have anything to eat.
I normally have it with me every day.
You want some coffee? Good, because I don't have it.
Hey,
It's
look
over
here,
there.
Excuse me. Yeah, it's out of worst way to say.
Look at that. I cut my piece of myself, a piece of aluminum foil. Yeah. And that thing could not be in a worse place.
Yeah, that's the worst.
I got to get in pretty hard. Had a hard time getting over there. Yeah. Yeah. Got all there on that down on the side, I think, the driveway. Right. I guess you just want to monitor the inside camera, you know, that real one. Yeah.
Also, on that, or as way mistake, when Lauren Howley was here last time, she requested a response from her by the end of the month. She did send a letter response to that, but in the meantime, that's up. So this is the letter she sent prior to that.
Yeah, it's just.
Well, the old mule was working, well, that was.
No.
Just using the old.
You,
Authorized me with that. I didn't think much of the matter, but we'll build it.
I heard that yesterday evening. Was it suicide? I got that second hand, that's the person who told me yesterday.
Ed told me that yesterday, I didn't know. And he had some history of mental illness or something that
Depression.
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 Some special kind of depression.
Come on in. Are you looking for us?
And so many of them,
Right here.
so many of them deal with,
Yeah.
struggle with
Where's the sign? Yes.
I don't know whether she lives or not.
I think somewhere. Roger, nice to meet you.
Move to approve the estate qualifications and estate settlements as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Come on in, Angel. We're ready for you. That, give us the motion.
The only thing we would request, Angel, is you get that in very small print to keep the price down.
I'm gonna try.
No, it doesn't have to be 5 pages.
I'll do my best.
We do not.
Got here a motion approving the financial statement for Gilmer County, West Virginia for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2013.
Second.
All in favor? I didn't mean to cut you short, Mr. Chapman, sorry.
I'm just concerned about if we can get that print, just
Yeah.
keep the price of that down.
Board appointments. No, wait a second. We have to approve the qualifications and settlements. We already do that. Board appointments.
What's the same one that are in?
Yeah. Do we have to go with the minutes? No, we don't.
I've looked over those minutes a couple times, she made
Tommy,
changes,
your
yeah.
email didn't work.
Yeah, I'm ready to move some minutes.
Okay. I'll write it down for you.
You didn't get back what you, after you, Larry, after you made changes, Jean did
She
you
sent
that?
me a second copy of them, and they were, that last.
She was waiting to hear back from you and then.
Oh, yeah, we'll go to the next.
Motion to table the minutes. What's our next day of the next meeting? Sunday.
It will be, yeah, September 2nd.
So September 2nd,
Canberra.
So moved.
Second.
all in favor? Receipt of the county board minutes for the Gilmer County Ambulance Service Authority, Little Canal Transit Authority, and Historical Society. How about that request from the Big Springs USPS to place some mailboxes at Tanner? We never did get there and look at that, or did you go there?
Yeah, and Cindy's been there, and they just, we need something. Where's that, you've been talking to, where is that now?
I went down a second time and actually mapped out and measured out and spray painted orange to show you. So I can show you where that's gonna be, if you want, it's gonna be.
What,
It's
the
gonna be
place, the
4 by
site?
10.
Yeah, the site is okay, but we should have some kind of a contract, something. I can't imagine that they wouldn't want to just come in and build without some type of agreement. Nothing's forever. Now, there might be some time in the future, properties ever sold, that new buyer might not want those boxes there. It's not forever, so. Have they been back with you, Cindy?
They're waiting on us at this point.
They want us to formulate a contract?
Well, they want us to say that it's okay to move forward. That will be the next step, your approval to them to go ahead and put mailboxes on the site. And then we have to work with the contract. I mean, right now, you have to give me your okay to do it.
Okay.
So, you can look here in this picture. I'll just show you, and I'll pass it around. You'll see up at the top is the road, and School Road, and the gravel lot. You'll see the stone wall with handicap parking in. So the proposal originally was to put it up on the grass above the wall, between the wall and the road. But that presents a problem when people stopping on the road, etc. So when I was down there the second time, they said, can we put it down here on this gravel lot where that pile of gravel is, right up against the wall? So I marked it out, it will be 4 feet, the concrete pad will be 4 feet by 10 feet. The boxes themselves are only about, that will now are about 18 inches deep. But they will sit on a concrete pad, and they will open the access by the people next to the building. So in other words, they're gonna drive down to our lot, they're gonna park their neighbor out in front of our two boxes. So let me show you. That's it. It would cut into the handicap parking area just a little. Definitely still park one handicap there, but I'm not sure if it would allow for the parking of 2 handicap spots. That would be my only concern, if that's even a valid concern. It's probably about 5 to 6 feet.
No, and we didn't, you really don't want them, no, there's not enough room between the road on that side. They have to pull in the lot.
Here's,
And it needs to be back so they won't just try to stop in the road or their face.
this is a picture of the current boxes that are down there, to give you an idea. However, the ones they're gonna be putting up will be brand new, but this is in essence what will be there in terms of numbers of boxes.
The question is, what is a reasonable amount of time if it becomes the desire of the county that those be removed? That's the question. It's really, I'm not in favor of forever.
Where is it forever?
No.
Well, your next step, like you say, they may be on the parking lot.
Exactly, you never know, so what's a reasonable 6 months notice?
I think 6 months.
We would want to preserve the right,
To
yes,
terminate the agreement.
terminate the agreement, and have to
For the 6 months.
remove inside 6 months, yes.
I hear a motion doing so.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Opposed? Motion carried.
One more thing that Larry had actually brought this thought up. Would they help at all in maintaining the drive? It's going to be, I think there's 18, 20 people that'll be driving in and out, but potentially after that, getting their mail. So that's additional wear and tear there on that parking area. When I presented it to the person I met with, she was like, why would you even ask such a question? But I think it's a valid question. Wintertime, things are soft, you know, we're going to have to start maintaining that.
I guess they're not maintaining it.
I don't think they do anything like that. But if they're customers, you know, if a big pothole, manhole, what happens? Create itself, pull off. We just have to cross that bridge when we get there.
So if something like that occurred, would the Tanner Community Association and the regular building be responsible for that?
I say we just cross that bridge
Cross
when
that
we
bridge
finish.
when we get there. It should be good for years. It's pretty good shape. the parking lot is.
Purchase of an ATM. Are we still, is this one still working?
I haven't heard any complaints since I repaired it.
Nobody wasn't using it as much. Because
Why is that?
Sheriff's office and our office both accept credit cards.
Well, I thought we took action and requested it to be removed because we weren't getting what we had in the past. When you initially allowed that, you received income for a year.
We did, and then we decided to leave it there until we got something going.
Yes, but did we receive income that agreed upon amount? We did it this past 12 months, didn't we?
Not the fiscal, not the year we're in now. He did pay 2 months ago, he paid for fiscal year 14 or calendar year 14, I don't know, I'm not sure.
The amount that was
What,
originally
13?
agreed upon?
Yes, the 250.
That's why we got away from it, was
Presently, you're under no contract with them, do not renew that proposed contract at $150 a year.
What, my main concern at this point, since it's in there and working, and we don't have one, would just be to try and recover that 250 that's coming to us from last year.
I think it's, my opinion is it's fiscally more responsible to do that in there.
as long as he pays us. That's why we took that action. We had not been paid. That got his attention.
So would you reach out to him, Cindy, and ask him about that?
Okay, what do you want, a new contract then?
Well,
What?
we'd be interested in thinking about it if indeed, especially after hearing what I heard there, but we'd like to have our $250 from last year.
Okay, we have that.
He just paid that
He's current.
right after we took action. Yeah, in the last 2 months.
He's current from what he owes us. He
He's
doesn't know
current.
us anything.
Not
The
unless he's
current.
supposed to pay his lease ahead. If he should pay his lease ahead, if there is a contract, he would be due to pay that now.
But in the
Otherwise,
fiscal
he's
year, it has
current.
to June
He's
30th.
fiscal year. he's
Okay.
current.
Yeah, we'd be interested in another contract.
Yeah, same money.
Yeah.
And would you want that paid at the beginning of the lease?
That's no worry of mine. I'm one of three, but that's no worry of mine.
How about in the middle of January 1st?
Yeah, there's trying to be a date in there.
All right, January 1st. Ask him for January 1st. Well, Debbie just said something there. I don't know if that's, if the public knows that or not, but the fact that the sheriff's department and the county clerk's department now will take a credit card. That's big.
that's on part of what I'm reporting today.
Oh, okay, well, that's good though,
That might be your line.
because that's the way everybody majority pays anymore. I'm in retail. You know, cash is a thing of the past.
Is a credit card or debit card?
Yeah.
I mean, there is a charge for them to use it. You know,
We all want to have one of those.
Well, now merchants don't get charged, it's the other way around.
The state will not allow the county to use county tax dollars to pay that fee. So
So the credit card company is charging you their 3%, whatever.
2.2%
But
plus
it's
$1
passed
on each transaction.
Yeah.
It's just passed on to the customer, conveniently reviewed.
Yeah. And how much is that each time?
Dollar plus, weight on the
$1
card.
plus 2.2% of whatever they pay.
2.2% is better than the rate I've got on guarantee.
It's better than the rate I've got.
the sheriff's department said,
Yours is 2.2?
No, no,
Oh, no, that's what I was
Mine's
thinking.
3 minimum.
3.
I don't know how much over
Very
3,
good.
but it's 3 minimum.
Backup plan, 911 Gilmer County.
that phone call was, you're not 45.
Okay.
But again, it's working there. Backup plan for the 911. Well, as you are aware, we needed to give, not Lewis Gilmer 911 Center a backup plan for Gilmer County in the event that something had happened. They could not dispatch as normal from the Lewis 911 Center. So, we met, the 911 committee met last night, and we hashed this out and came to an agreement that Susie and Eric, both with the OEM and Bill Rowan, agreed is a workable plan. So we detailed this here, but since this only happened last night, I could not get it into a form of a letter for you to sign. So we'll need to, if you accept this plan, I'll need to formalize it and get your signature and then get it back to them.
We knew we had to do this, and I took the liberty asking. I had a PSD meeting last night, so I asked Cindy, and she graciously went to that meeting and got them to agree.
Okay.
That was the problem with past, getting everyone just to sit down together and agree on something.
Right, so what we'll just need to do is just draft a letter, like I initially did, with wording that was, that they were, didn't really work out. So we'll draft a letter, we'll include the procedure list, get your signature on it, and send it over to Louise Gilmer.
And what is that backup plan? Like they agreed, what did they agree to do?
It's really, the nuts and bolts of it would be, in the event that our long distance lines in Gilmer County would go down, somebody in the county from our OEM office would need to radio over to Lewis County or get in touch with Lewis County and tell them our lines are down. At that point, we would have to activate our own center out of the firehouse. So there's a 1, 2, 3 step of how we notify people. So Susie, Eric, whoever would be the person on the scene at the moment would contact one of the dispatchers. There were 3 Gilmer, I think there are actually 4 dispatchers that live in Gilmer County. And they've all agreed that they would be willing to be contacted to get out to the center to dispatch down at the fire hall if need be. And so our OEM office would be responsible for contacting them, and then they would take everything they need. There's already phone lines and phones down there for this purpose. But these dispatchers will bring all the other supplies that are needed to dispatch. You know, their cards that tells them what to do and how to handle calls, et cetera. And also, there's a protocol of how who they would contact in order to get into the firehouse. If the firehouse is locked, there's 1, 2, 3 steps. Follow the chain. If you can't get this one, go on, et cetera, et cetera. And what was the other thing I got? I don't know, it's gone. Whatever the thought was, it's gone. But that's
Good to have a backup.
it's a backup plan, and I don't think it'll, be a problem. The only caveat will be getting in there, but that's why we have call this person, call this person, call this person. That's probably Michael Murphy.
Yeah, it is. They just
Calls
can't.
over there.
So people are still dialing 911.
It'll still down on one.
Yeah, and it'll roll over and pick up the
So
fire.
roll over and pick up the firehouse.
Mayor motion adopting this backup plan.
So
I am
moved.
fine, thank you.
Second,
All in favor?
Just hold on a second.
Opposed?
We're gonna put you
Motion
on
carried.
speakerphone and proceed with this phone meeting. You're welcome. Are you ready? You need to come around the phone, I'm not sure how loud this will get.
Brian, you can speak for us. Did you see Jerry's letter to him?
I think I did.
You had that?
Here, Larry. This is-
Yeah, read that before you, again, familiarize yourself. We appointed, it's just one of those estates, man, those estates sometimes. We appointed one of those,
Yes.
Michael? Michael? Okay, we have you on speakerphone.
What's up?
Just 1 second, Brian Kennedy is gonna come near the phone and we'll begin the conversation.
Well, we're about to vote.
You're welcome.
it should be paid out like Jerry said, that could be paid out.
We have to bring it to court to be waived.
Yeah, well, that's,
We have no problem with that.
that would be paid out.
Hey, Michael,
Yes, sir.
how are you, buddy?
Good. Thank you for having me on the agenda today.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let you speak first.
Okay.
I have in front of me the letter from our prosecuting attorney to you. I'm assuming you got a copy of it?
Yes, I have it in front of me as well.
Okay. We'll give you the floor.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate being on the agenda today. I think, as you know here, I'm a bit frustrated in trying to get this estate closed. Thus, I wrote a letter, I think, to several people, including yourself, trying to get some forward movement, basically, in this, and really not knowing what to do. But I think that I'm very encouraged by this letter here that we're looking at, saying that we would, the commission and Gilmer County would join me in seeking action from the fiduciary commissioner. I don't know if Mr. Mauser is in the room there or not.
He's not.
Okay. I have had two very professional conversations with him on this, and I've provided him all the relevant material some time ago. I mean, many months ago. And basically, this estate is inactive. Okay, for in terms of the financial part of it, it's been inactive. There was a little bit of activity some months ago, but then basically nothing for a year before that. And where this sits is there's four heirs here. Three of the heirs here would sign off on the estate for closing it right now. Okay, and they're basically coming to me saying, what gives here? What's the problem? And I'm saying, well, I don't really know what the problem is, but I'm trying to continue forward, and I will engage Gilmer County and the commission accordingly. And they said, well, let us know. I said, well, we understand, and everybody understands, there at this point in time, there has not been total agreement between the four heirs in this case, and I can't believe it's the first time there's ever been this happening where there's been an estate and there's not unanimous agreement. With that, I do believe, unknowns to me, but I believe there has to be a forward vehicle for resolving, situations like this. And I engaged Mr. Mauser on this, saying that, okay, why can't we distribute the information, or why can't you distribute the information that I provided to you as fiduciary commissioner to the heirs, and let's see what happens. Three of them will sign. I don't know what one of them will do. But in any event, at this point, there is no outstanding proceedings, there's no court cases, there's no anything going on. And basically, the other, I don't see anything here that should prohibit a closure. Now, again, I haven't done as many of these as perhaps Mr. Mauser has, and maybe people know more. Also with this, there's the issue here of the probate bond, and I'd like to raise that with the commission. When we set out on this, again, this was new to me, and I learned quite a bit at the beginning, but we set a value for the probate bond, and I engaged Mr. Collins in Glenville, and he obtained a bond from Western Securities. I believe that since time goes on here, that there's much less, I will say, that could be construed for any reason in play than there was when the estate was just, when we got the initial bond. And the renewal cost is substantial, so what I'm asking, I guess, is one part of this, is to have the commission considering the lowering of the bond requirement for the next year. I understand that this is for the protection of the executor, the probate bond, and I don't know how much of this would become public. I would hate to get into numbers on this. I do have a revised number in mind for that bond, and I would like to, have us proceed forward, and so I can engage Mr. Collins again. I think he would need a piece of paper or something from the commission to do this successfully. And I'd like to proceed ahead with that, so it basically lessens the financial burden for me and or the estate should I choose to seek remuneration from the estate for those costs. So I basically, I think the items in play that are left would be, any question about legal fees and some of the personal effects. Anything else that's rather perfunctory and well-defined. And I guess that's a matter I'd like for us to take up here. And lastly, I'm a bit frustrated here, and I would seek any help in moving this forward and getting Mr. Mauser to provide information to the heirs so we can get this estate closed.
Okay, Michael, as far as reducing the amount of the bond, the other two commissioners are here, but I would not be comfortable with making any decisions like that myself without our attorney Jerry Huff being here. Now, as far as waiving the fees, which I understand will just be charged back to the estate, but as far as waiving the fees on the bond as it stands, I think the commission we were ready to help you with that.
Okay.
But as far as, and let me ask the other two while we're sitting here, but as far as the reduction of the amount on the bond, I don't know that.
That's right, we don't have any
Well,
powers to settle.
right, I mean, nor any knowledge of.
If they're comfortable with it,
Who's comfortable with it?
if that estate, if those people that, the benefactors of that estate, if they're comfortable with it, he's talking like the estate is worth less. Is that asking if that's correct?
That's what he's saying, yeah.
If it's worth less, it should be lower.
You think the estate is worth less now than it was, Michael?
Well, I guess what I'm saying here is when we set out, there was, I guess there was money, cash, in bonds and things like that. And there have been partial distributions made from the estate, which all four heirs have cashed those checks. And there's been land transfers, which both of those items were part of the original bond amount, if you will. Okay, and those distributions have taken place. And basically, the fact that they all cashed the checks, there's nothing to talk about. So what I was trying to do was ferret out here in my mind, what could be construed as any area of discussion, or debate, if there was going to be a debate, which I don't know there is or not, but, for example, hiring an attorney. Okay, you didn't need to hire an attorney, or you did, or not to the degree. Okay, well, I would want to be protected from that question, should there be somebody coming after me, one of the heirs, and thus, that amount should be in the bond. If somebody's going to question the fact, well, here's a partial distribution from the estate, for X amount of money, I don't see any need to protect against that. They signed the check. Or to see, you're going to dispute an income tax form fee. I don't, see things like that being of contention.
I see.
So that's sort of the focus on, okay, well, what's sort of relevant? The land has been transferred out of the estate, some time ago, so that's not an issue. So what I was trying to get to here, I guess that differently, was there are less things of issue conceivably than there were at the beginning of the estate. I think that's the natural course of events, because this has been transpiring for such a long period of time.
Okay. What's your proposal, Michael?
I'd like to, and again, without in the minutes hearing a number in the minutes, because I don't feel that it's the public needs to know all the numbers of this.
Okay.
I'm suggesting like a reduced bond amount of like $63,000. Okay, that would be the value. That would be the value, revised value that I would put on it right now.
Okay.
And that would to me would cover anything that could be construed as questionable. The rest of it is perfunctory. I really don't think there's a question with any of it.
I guess that's my thing is, would anybody, and if so, who, would have opposition to the reduction of this bond?
Excuse me, could you repeat that, please?
I said, would anybody, and if so, who, would have opposition to the reduction of this bond amount?
I don't believe anybody, because I believe bond here is for my protection as executive.
It is.
Yeah.
We don't approve it. We don't approve the amount, do we, Devin? We don't approve that amount. No.
So I guess I guess that Mr. Huff indicated by his letter, it's in my authority, as he quotes here, petition the commission to waive the bond requirement for the next year. Granted, that would alleviate some damages that I include, which is the premiums. I guess I'm being just a little bit more conservative than that.
Okay.
In essence, to saying, okay, I really don't want to waive the requirement, but I'd like to reduce it.
Well, I guess my concern is that I didn't really think we had anything to do with that. As far as...
Well, again, I'm learning as I go. I'm just reading his letter here.
Well, as far as the reduction and the amount, I'm unfamiliar with us having anything to do with that, Michael, if that makes any sense. I mean...
Okay, so if you waived it then I could go procure one again from the estate and start over again.
Correct.
Well, okay, then, if you could waive the bond requirement, then I will proceed with Mr. Collins to do what I was talking about then.
Okay. And you understand when we waive this, that it's chargeable to the estate?
Well, the estate, I guess there's been a mixture here. The estate has paid some of the premium.
Okay.
For a couple of the years, these last 2 years, I think I paid myself.
Okay.
And basically, what I'm trying to do here, for better or for worse, is to get this thing closed And I do believe, again, with the path that I'm taking, that 3 of the heirs will sign off on, foreclosure on this right now.
We're prepared as a commission to waive that bond.
Okay? Could you send me a letter, please, and Mr. Collins in Glenville?
Sure will.
Okay, thank you. The
Well-
next thing, if I can, and forgive me, because body language aside here from being on the phone, I can't tell when it's time to speak or not here because of the phone lag. But can you comment on how we might work together to help me get this pushed ahead to closure?
Well, about all the promise I can give you right now, Michael, is that we would reach out to Mr. Mauser and see if we couldn't persuade him to move forward on this.
She's trying.
Okay, I know that in the past, I have talked to him twice. I know that Gene Butcher has tried to talk to him.
Okay.
And she's seen him there in the building and talked to him, and Gene's been very helpful. But we really haven't been too successful here. And the thing that's sort of bothering me with this is that, I understand when somebody has an objection, but right now, I don't know that anybody has an objection.
Michael, what would you like to see us do?
Well, I don't know what's in your power to do. I don't understand enough about it, but I don't know how maybe this is a Mr. Huff question that you could ask Mr. Huff. How do you say to a fiduciary commissioner, okay, it's time to send the papers out? Or now that you've waived the bond requirement, does that change things and we don't need a fiduciary commissioner? We can close the estate anyway. And I don't know the answer to that.
Nor do I. Do you, Larry?
Maybe that's a good
We
start
just had
for
an
it.
estate closed today, the final settlement was prepared by an attorney.
Sure.
Fiduciary commissioner, so the thing that's in my mind is that Mr. Mauser continues to be unresponsive. How do we get that information, that documentation back from him?
That's the same thing he's asking.
I think you have to
How do we
appoint-
get it back?
I
I'm
think
not
you have to
sure.
appoint another fiduciary commissioner.
Is the one in our county, is the estate small enough
She gave
now?
she passed it over
Michael,
because of.
Yes, sir.
let us get with Mr. Huff, and either myself or Mrs. Wilson will get back with you with his response.
Okay.
Uh, we will contact him today, and I'm not saying we'll get back to you today, but we will get back.
I think we all agree that the reality is that we can't count on Mr. Mauser to complete this task. We need to get that documentation back.
Correct. We're going to try and help you here,
He
Michael.
won't answer our calls either. He won't answer Gene's calls.
Mine.
Brian, you tried to call him?
Oh, yeah.
Cindy's.
I talked to
So
him
how,
twice.
but we need that, he's got the,
Okay, Michael. Let us see what I don't even know what authority exactly we have, but Mr. Huff will,
Okay.
and
That sounds good.
and somebody will be back in touch in just a day or two.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate your help very much on this.
Thank you, Michael. We'll see you.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
You have to pick up the.
Turn the air back
Please.
on. You want to stand in front of it?
is, part of any reduction of any bond amount. Yeah, that one's tied into that. We don't have anything, without talking to Jerry, I never even, that's not anything to do with us. I don't think so, anyway.
They put themselves in risk.
Yeah.
Smells like caffeine. I'm gonna go, I'll round up a couple more cups, and I'll get you some.
Oh, okay.
It might seem like a slight inconvenience, but she asked me earlier if I wanted to charge my phone, and they didn't even have a phone charger. So the fact that she's a little short on cups is really no big deal.
You gonna get more cones?
I am.
Bring me one too,
I sure
please.
will. You got it, I have it, you don't want anything.
Is it?
I like tea.
Okay. Mr. Roger Harris.
Good morning. Give you some more brochures here.
Good.
Once again, my name is Roger Harrison. I'm with the West Virginia Division of Rehabilitation. I work out of the Weston office. This is my branch office manager, Wayne Harmon. And what we'd like to do this morning is just explain our program to you. And just so you know what we want and it's not distracting to the last minute, we would like for you to help us disseminate our information. Say, hey, if you've got a disability, would you call these guys up? They might be able to help you. So we're not asking for any grants or favors or money of any kind. It's just a lot of times, I'm sure you're out working with the business community, the local organizations, and you could help us get the word out about our organization, because right now, we've just come back into Gilmer County after being out for several months, and I probably got 20 clients from Gilmer County, which I probably need about 150, 200 average. Based on the other counties that we service. So it's just a matter of us getting the word out. But what we do, we work with people with disabilities. And what we try to do is assist them in gaining employment. Now we can do this in several ways. One is mental restoration, physical restoration. We may be able to provide direct placement. Maybe devices, technology devices. These are the type of services, resume writing, this type of thing. And we start off, we basically go in 3 directions here. I didn't, everybody's got one of those, okay. We work with the local high school and the Gilmer County trade school for students out there who want to go on, say they're a welder or something like this, or maybe one of the medical classes. We can go ahead and assist them with further training. And for the high school, we normally start the high school when they're the junior and senior. Things that we can offer there is a lot of times our type of clients don't know where they want to go. They don't know what they can do, what they can't do. Most of them have been on IEPs or they've had a disability. And we have to guide them to their choices. Of course, some of them say, hey, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to be a teacher, I'm going to be a lawyer. Those are the easy ones that we can work with. Once again, we offer a variety of services to them. We can even provide testing that can get their interest. We can, and that is free, both our psychological and vocational counseling and vocational testing is all free to the client. Most of our services are free to the client. The other method we use is once these folks get out of high school, it's a general population. And we work with all ages. Normally, they're 16 years old or at least a junior in high school. And clear up to people on Social Security, because right now we're finding out that a lot of people with disabilities are on Social Security. They're making $600 and $700 a month. And they can't support it. So if we can get them a part-time job, say for 20, 25 hours a week, it supplements their Social Security, and it also, our clients are well known for being punctual on time. They're usually very good employees, especially our older ones, because they've been out in the workforce. And so we have the general population. That's what we call our general population. And once again, we work with all types of disabilities. Now, for us, there are certain people with disabilities we can't work with. We have to have a clear expectation that we can gain employment for them. So that's kind of the baseline that we use. The other tree branch that we do is we actually work with employers. If I can get my 200 clients out of Gilmer County, but if I haven't got anybody to refer them to, then we're kind of stuck. It really hurts. So we like to work with employers also. We have a job training, on-the-job training program. For an example, if you would hire one of our employees, we could pay their wages. Whatever you paid them for wages for 2 months, we could then reimburse you, so it kind of gets you a free type a look at them, a chance to get them trained without paying for it. We also have community rehabilitation providers that say an individual, he has a low mental capacity, but he would make a great stalker, someone like that, a great custodian. Then we can have our community rehabilitation providers come in and provide him training at no cost to you. Actually work with him, shadowing, and that type of program is all, we work out the time frame with the employer on that. But this is what we do. This is what we would like for you to go out and tell people about. It's not a program for everybody, but we have done, what's our cost for last year?
We've put over, well, people that haven't been working, are now working, we put over $30 million in the economy in the last year. That's about an average of a year. So it's a good thing when people go to work. Everything, everybody benefits, the whole community benefits when people go to work. They get up in the morning, they fill up their car with gas, they buy lunch, they, stop at the store on the way home, get groceries. So good things happen when people work. So that's what we do. We're on, you have disability, we're on the other end of the spectrum. We're about, everything is about employment. Everything we do revolves around employment. And like Roger was saying, disability, a lot of times people have a skewed view of what disability means. An impairment, a work impairment, could be a lot of things. It could be somebody that's having a hard time managing their blood sugar to the point that it's affecting their ability to work. It could be somebody that's been into the workforce 20 years, may have a stroke, may have a heart attack, now they have to come back and try to find other type of employment. Or they need their job modified to the point that they can do it. So that's where we want to think, to let you know that it's just not, when people say disability, people get the idea of somebody in a wheelchair. It could be somebody just out of school, just coming through the school system has a learning disability. Physically strong, be able to do any type of work, but maybe there's a learning disability that makes it difficult for that individual to do a certain type of job. So that's what we want to let you know, that to think of us, we want to be part of the community. We want to be able to. I've always said this is sort of like the disability policy you didn't know you had. And anybody in this room at any time can become a rehabilitation client, car wreck, four-wheeler, something like that. It affects the ability to work. So that's what we want to be able to. Explain our services and like Roger said, get the message out there, because we feel that there's a lot of people out here in the community that can benefit from what we do.
It's surprising, 95% of our services are free. And it seems like when I talk to the people of Gilmer County that our services are free, the first thing they do is grab their wallet because they think it's a lie. But it is an eligibility-based program, and there is an economic need form that we do fill out. But for example, if you had diabetes and you lost your leg and you needed a prosthetic, you didn't have insurance, or even if you did, they could pay so much and we could pay the rest, or we could pay it all. And so we would get that individual now back to work. So this seems a hard thing for people to understand is, are we willing to go out and pay $30,000 for a prosthetic? Yes, we are. If we can get you a job paying $7.75 an hour, that's okay with us. You know, at least you're contributing back into the economy, you're contributing to your quality of life.
Because in the long term, it's going to pay for itself. They've done studies in the archives of agencies, if I would give you $1, or if you give me $1, I give you $12 back. Everybody here will take that deal. That's what, our services, it's an investment. I always say that I always tell our counselors, I say, we're sort of like a stock market mutual fund manager, except we're doing it with human capital. We're looking at an individual, we're assessing their abilities, their strengths, and trying to channel that, getting them in that type of workforce. And in the long term, they're going to go to work and they're going to contribute to the overall economy and build it. And that helps everybody. So
one of the things we do, we try to screen our people. I'm not going to send, if you need a truck driver, I'm not going to send the guy in a wheelchair to you. That's dumb. And it also makes us look dumb. So we try the best we can to pre-screen these people before we would say, hey, go check at the school and see if you can become a janitor, something like that. Truck drivers, well driller, well hands. So this is what we do. Is there always a perfect match? No. But then hopefully we can provide you the time to observe these people at no cost to you or to businesses. And right now I am the senior counsel for Gilmer County, and I need your help. I've been going to the FRN functions and things like this. We've been to the fire department functions and giving out our information. And we know it's going to take a while.
About the senior center.
Senior center, I've worked there some with those people. They have actually allowed me to come in and visit clients there. The senior center has treated me just wonderful. The school, the Gilmer County, Calhoun-Gilmer County Trade School, welcomed me with open arms. The high school welcomed me with open arms. The library here, this is the friendliest bunch of people I've ever met. But once again, they're cautious too. When I start talking free money, they want to back up here. And so I think if we can get them over that, and it's a day and age we live in. If I'm going to give you something for free, what do you want from me? You're going to want something from me. And what we would like to do is get them in play. And this is the balance. As counselor of Gilmer County, this is what I have to do. I'm at the point now where I've got not only get clients, but I've also got to talk to employers. Because if one is off, I've got to get a balance here. Because if one is off, then it messes up the other. And I appreciate your time today. And like I say, please, if you could just, as you're going out talking to these organizations, we can't help everybody, but it sure does help when somebody says, hey, gives us a call, hey, I heard it from so and so. And I'm starting to get phone calls like that now. Hey, I heard you speak down at the fire company or the FRN refers you. The Community Resource Center downtown referred a couple people. So it's beginning to work. And I just appreciate your time and assistance.
Thank you. I think Mr. Ramazon's got a question.
Yes, sir. How do the people get hold of you?
Oh,
Like you tell the
okay.
people?
I'm sorry about that.
No problem. Thank you.
I have all this
Yes,
stuff on it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And there's a website, the VDRS website, and they can go to there and electronically sign up for it, and then they will contact us. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Robert. You all take care. Thank you.
New one. Do you still want your coffee? Sure.
We're not going to waste coffee.
Sugar, cream.
You didn't get that.
What?
Just, can't hear you something fast.
This young lady, she takes care of you all because I gave her my pitch the other day. And she says, well, what do you want from us?
Except Gilmer County.
Don't worry, buddy, so she's looking after your welfare.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How about this rec center gas bill?
But bill from paid card that came before your last month, so we need to bill
Let's
that.
talk about it.
So, this is their letter, this is their detailed organization of it. They have not billed since April of 2011.
Has this been shared with the prosecuting attorney yet?
No.
You know what we said the last time that he needed to look at it?
I'm not sure we did, but we need to. I think we need to right now. I mean, that's, you get a bill 2 years after the fact. Of course, this thing goes back 3.
If I interpret this one chart right, it goes back to April of 2011.
And I honestly would take this company's word just because they put it on paper and say we owe them. I mean,
April 2012, up to 2 years. And apparently.
his date he's got on this is all the same, all in June of 14 when the billing for the amounts was done. This to me just, this goes back to April of 2012. Where does it allow for the free gas on the property?
I think it's all part of the scenario. How much is the free gas? Have we used that?
Look the difference in how,
And MCF prices weren't where it's made, it fluctuates, if you look back on these, it fluctuates sometimes weekly.
how can prices are the lowest they've been in years, yet in February of 14 and March of 14, it's twice as much as it was back in April of 2012. And that gas is half now what it was in.
Let's just turn it over.
Yes.
And we have not seen the bill, but when Darrell was here this morning, I caught him saying that Rita had said another bill for the monthly invoice to come in. So what do you want to do about that monthly invoice? And in fact, there's a couple of recent monthly invoices in this packet of stuff.
We just started all over, my feelings right to jury, nothing to
Yes.
I think
So
we need to be looking at trying to negotiate a standard MCF price.
Yeah, well, there's got to be some sort of contract at some point.
Right.
It's all over the page right there. It's as low as 2 and as high as 6.
Yeah, it's way too volatile.
Yeah. We do need to sit down.
and even the
They'll be
March,
great, wouldn't
April,
question
But it's better than what we're getting by the neck board.
Oh, yeah.
But we have the first 200,000 cubic feet of free gas out there. Where's that allotted on there? Do
It's
they
on
even
there.
know?
It's on there. I saw it the last time somewhere. Nonetheless, the thing to do with it is turn it over to the prosecutor.
Well, they charge us every month in 2013. They charge us every month. So where's the free?
I thought I saw it the last time.
Right there's
Let me
2013.
see.
you say it's supposed to be 1,000?
200,000. 200,000. We should only pay a gas bill maybe for 3 or 4 months. That's how it always was out there. We didn't have gas bills like that.
Yeah, like I say, I don't think we need to get a negotiated MCF price.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm
So the
saying.
reason we were able to keep it low though, we did, back previous owners, it did follow.
The market.
Yeah, follow the market, so we didn't cheat them, they didn't cheat them. It was like,
Well, you can't beat those MCF prices, but I agree with Tom, you would think that there'd be some sort of, it was just,
so maybe we can work towards a prosecutor, Gilmer County Commission, and that company sit down and try to.
Even if it says we're following current rate. You know what I'm saying, if it's saying we're following current market rate, that's still the negotiated MCF price. Right now, we don't have anything that tells us how they got to that number.
I think they jacked the price.
Signed request for reimbursement for Red Cross grant of $1,500.
Appreciate that.
That didn't feel right in my hand.
Send it across.
And this, we request the reimbursement and close out that grant, $1,500 that was purchase laptop equipment for the Red Cross to use while they're in Gilmer County doing work. Need signatures from Brian, those places marked, please.
Okay. Mowing around the Gilmer County sign at Rosedale. This is what I asked you to put on there. It's that FEMA lot too that we were sending Troy over there to take care of. Bronze and Conquer's been taking care of it, and I just, was brought to my attention by the Rosedale seniors over there. I thought maybe that, it was my thinking that we ought to help him with gas or something. We were sending Troy over there, and then that wasn't feasible.
Are we expected to keep those properties clean?
We are.
All those FEMA properties?
No,
Just that one?
no, that one, let me get back to that. I may need to go get Troy, I can't remember what the deal was on that one. There was something different about that. Because we didn't send him anywhere else.
But you all were sending Troy to know that one.
Yeah. And then we contracted another individual over there for a while to take care of it, and that, it got to the point we were being taken advantage of. And Bronze was not mowing it once a week, you know what I mean, he's not, but I went and looked at it the last time.
Why is it being known? Does the community benefit from the chiefs?
Yeah, it's an eyesore, yeah.
Do they use their, are they,
Can the property be given to the community?
no, it's
Well, they
that
don't
FEMA
build on it.
buy. It's that where FEMA buys it. The property owner and the home must have been probably a house owner. at one time.
They're beside that
As
farm.
long as they don't build back on it, the community can't have it.
But,
Nobody can have it. It's green space.
uh,
People try to come to us and try to buy those lots later. Not going to happen. It's green. FEMA paid for that land one time. They'll not be close to getting in that position when they have to buy a second time. Green space only. So what you're proposing, Brian?
I thought that, you know, I think he's got some help coming to him, whether it be for fuel or something. I called him and asked him how many times that he thought he had mowed it, and he said he didn't know, but I asked him to give me a number. They said, you know, probably 8 or 9. When I asked him, he said, if I could get some help on doing it 4 times, we'd be.
Was he asked to do it?
Was he? We didn't ask him.
I'm just being the devil's advocate here. There
No,
are
we did not ask.
some of those properties throughout the county.
Yeah. Nonetheless, I'm just saying that whatever the will of the commission is, we had Troy go over and take care of it a while, we contracted it a while, and they've taken it upon themselves, and he's taken care of it. It was my thinking that he should be reimbursed for his time or some fuel or something, just a little bit. Tamco phone equipment lease.
Larry asked me to put this on the agenda because of how much is left on that phone lease. Approximately $42,000 and 30 more months of payments.
I would like to see the history now. Thank you for what's the balance is. At the next meeting a month from now, I would like a little history on that.
And what
That
would
is
you like
far
to
this from the
I
beginning
mean,
to
I've got
end.
the lease
And
agreement.
give it to our prosecutor and see if we can get out of it.
You've already looked into that. I looked into that a year ago, and I
Wow.
sent it to Jerry, and he said, it is what it is.
It's a phone service. It's just,
Equipment.
just equipment. It's fine. You can transfer to another office.
The
On a
equipment
good
is-
day, right, Debbie?
Oh, you can all
Yeah.
the time.
It's a nice system,
Yeah.
beyond what we need. The equipment was $56,000 some dollars, and the lease, total lease payout will be up to $72,000.
Well, thanks for finding that out. The balance is 42, we have 30 more months.
So for 30 months, when that bill comes across
I'm
your desk,
gonna-
we're gonna have to
I'm
hear you
gonna
say, oh.
whine and stomp my foot every month. Do we pay? Yep.
Signed memorandum of understanding for the state auditor's office for fiscal year 2013 audit.
Yeah, actually, Mr. McKinney, the auditor, was already on site starting the audit for the time we got this letter. Nonetheless, it does need to be signed by Brian. I think he has about 1, maybe 2 more weeks max before he finishes up the audit for fiscal year 14. The amount $23,920. Details.
This probably needs a motion.
And you can just, and everything is,
Yeah. I'll make a motion, authorizing the memorandum of understanding with the auditor's office. We're fiscal year 13.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
State. Oh, yes. That's, yeah.
Approve litter control supervisor's wages.
We know where we are on that, on his work. Got time sheets.
Right after, I tried to call him 3-4 times, and he did try to return, we just couldn't catch up. So I had to talk to him.
He's definitely going back to school.
I've seen bags out, did you get a bill?
We've got invoices here from him. But I did some calculations, he's been paying, Angel paid him, I think the first one, and I said, first you can pay him the second one, so, you guys approve it. So I've got his invoices here, and his mileage, and I did some calculations, and I'm not sure if he's still working or not, because I haven't been involved in that, but if he is, we're gonna be over the grant. So, that's what I wanted to
We
know.
fulfilled, we need to stop.
Waiting to stop right now, so if he's worked from August until now, we're gonna be over the grant.
Let's see.
So these are the time sheets.
Do you have the required documentation for the grant? Like, you have everything's on?
He did not submit that,
So
but I
you,
had to go back and had him do it. I'm out of the picture, but eventually I did get it on the right
might
one.
not be a bad picture to be out of.
Well, the problem, I'd be fine to be out of it, but I still have to fulfill the requirements of the grant, do the reporting and all of that stuff, so I can't be completely out of it.
So this, but this is in here where he's going, so that's acceptable to the grant.
That is acceptable,
All right.
but originally it was not.
I've seen garbage out there places.
I caught that myself.
About every time.
Yes, so they issue us.
Well, the first check she cut did not include that, it was just straight time, there were overtime hours. I think 18 hours overtime the first period, I think 28 hours overtime the second period.
What's it say, rate of pay $7.25?
That's how much Anthony can get paid. He's a helper.
I would really like to be reviewed.
$12.50. No. I believe I was next to you, out of that. I guarantee you could find out these. The guys, so yeah, you did get people to work 7:30, 4:30, don't take the break. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you very
Tried him.
He should have made a better effort to call me back. He did call me back twice. I called him probably 6 times. He knows where I work.
You remember my position when it first started? She had an issue, put out and bid, need some lead.
We were late getting started.
One was kind of soft too.
Regardless of what you just sit there and talk, I'm just silly, but I know, you know my position,
I did.
and you just heard it.
Soft. You see the movie like, yeah, so we have capital T.
All right, well, we're just gonna pay $8. Do we need a motion for that?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second, so we're paying 8, not versus 9.
No, I don't believe that's not realistic.
What about the overtime?
Well, they may not pick up, you go back to $8.
There it is. There will still be.
We can't just go straight back to 8 hours. You can knock off 30 minutes a day or whatever you're gonna knock off for lunch.
Well, I think you just need to go back and ask him.
Well, I'll call, it's coming, I'll give you some number.
It's like burning out.
Yeah. That's what it is, nothing burning else.
Well, last time I checked, they'll show up for a paycheck.
Yeah.
When they come ask and say, hey, we've been trying to reach you, but we need to get some clarification.
One day last week,
I like the way Tom thinks. Larry, call him and tell him that, you know, we've got some questions about this and we can't cut any checks till we get an answer. I'll guarantee you close to that.
Certainly, that's the way.
Oh, and right down?
You don't have to call him right now.
All right. Good deal.
Okay, letter from the Historical Society in regards to the Landmarks Commission.
Okay, went to their meeting last month, as you know, and proposed that the Historical Society Board look at taking over and becoming the board for the Landmarks Commission. They sent a letter back from Karen Penbaker, the chair of the society, and they said that after discussion, the group voted to become partners with the Landmarks Commission and fill the Landmark Commission Board of Directors with at least one member from the Historical Society. And they have a list here of proposed people they would like to be on the Landmarks Commission. So I think that would become something you need to vote and approve these folks to be on the Landmarks Commission's board. And then they will take that over and manage that bank account.
I hear a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those. Commission appointments to.
I want to see who those people are. I'm sorry, I mean,
Now, these are the ones that,
Darrell.
Mr. Ramsey had, that you, other positions have inherited.
Okay. Well, that's what Cindy and I discussed, that she wanted to make sure that we brought it in front of the commission, make sure that was what he wrote.
I think this extension, that's just for one time a year.
It's PRN, just as needed.
Yeah, so that one, 911 does need monthly. Landmarks Commission, that's,
We'll see what
Yeah.
when they reorganize. So the Little Canal Transit Authority,
Okay.
I will get you them, so you're gonna take over all of those boards, Tom? Is that what?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. The other one was the senior center, but Brian, you said you got that one covered. So I will send you meeting dates and times for those.
10 o'clock in the morning, I'm glad you mentioned that.
How often does LEPC meet? That's quarterly.
Quarterly, they meet
Yeah.
quarterly at noon for lunch.
Good.
I would move that we appoint Commissioner Ratliff to the Little Canal Transit Authority, the LEPC, the West Virginia Extension Services, 911, and the Landmarks Commission boards.
So moved. Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Request for county clerk to purchase 4 8-foot folding tables for Sandfork and Cedarville polling locations. Hear a motion doing so?
So that's in that budget, right?
It comes out of elections.
She,
You won't?
that's why it's coming before you. She doesn't think she's got enough money in our election budget, so she wants to come out of some other budget.
So where are we gonna get it out of ours? Where we got extra money?
Well,
Those days are over.
it needs to come out of the election.
Yeah, that's
Start that.
election and
And then if it runs right, then come back.
come back.
Yeah.
It's an election
Right.
expense.
It has to come out of the election start with.
So that doesn't require our approval because she is in charge of that budget, isn't she? Wait, she is?
She is. Gary Wolf dropped off 2 more exonerations.
Okay?
That's all the same now about that. And this, he said this is just simply that the state had minerals listed and should not have had minerals on it, so they had to change it to the proper classification. Now you have no bills yet.
Oh, I know.
Save them.
Listen, there's no way to forget it. I absolutely hate it.
$154,000 on this side.
Motion to approve the additional exonerations.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Motion carried. This is gonna get on those bills.
Bills have already been paid,
Yeah.
up to 2 days, need your approval. Come down, down this one.
I'm getting on that.
That's good, recent purchase in my car.
Really?
Well, it's getting, it's like everything else in life.
Donnie wants more coffee?
No, I have a heart attack.
Heart attack.
You asked about, one of them asked about insurance, right there's this, the amounts, they vary a little bit, not much.
I think it's that air conditioner.
I tell you, put you the trains.
Oh. Yeah. A little bit. Yeah. Or not, it doesn't matter.
You want something in it? Flavor
You got some?
flavor?
Yeah, give me one of those flavors.
Chocolate, French vanilla, hazelnut?
Just pick me one out.
Acorn.
Acorn. Nice, nice acorn flavors.
That'll bring it around.
I like the way the coffee and the acorn play against each other, the delicate symphony.
Yeah. Fiddling on the She won't know what flavor it wants.
My senior year of high school, we went out and gathered some acres and made some acre flour and baked a loaf of bread out of it. It was the worst stuff I ever had in my life. It was terrible. You couldn't eat, all you could have eaten if you were hungry.
You hadn't been real hungry.
Yeah,
Now, I fried coral crabs out of the creek when I was a kid, but I didn't make acorn bread.
yeah. I like crawdads. They're a lot of work to eat, but. Ooh. It gets hot though.
It does.
That's.
First sip out first. Or was that a pinch?
I held out a speaker for the commission the last month I told the ambulance. They asked about us paying for the lobby
You know, that gas bill needs to go back to the rec center with whatever the total is we owe. I mean, whenever Jerry decides we owe 525,000, whatever it is. Pretty good, Cindy. What flavor was that?
French vanilla.
A little better to you than that.
Like you're feeling a little Frenchy this morning.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, you all agree it's okay to get your pictures today and put them on the website?
If we're what?
Can I get your pictures today and put them on the website for information?
Yep.
For good information?
Won't take long, though.
Now, we could do an individual picture, or we could do all three in you, whatever you prefer.
They take all the photo shots.
Yeah, okay, well, a lot of time to Photoshop those pictures.
Airbrush.
Yeah, I've got time worked out.
Well, sometimes it takes, well, I think we're gonna have to pay Yoder, because even though he wasn't working, he was still a supervisor for those prisoners. He didn't have to be working, they didn't have to be working, but he supervised them from that time in the morning to that time.
We didn't have any prisoners. Very few days.
Who picked up the trash?
Me and Anthony.
Yeah, I don't think they had prisoners at all this time, but.
I didn't think we did either.
You didn't last year either. Yeah, we don't have any prisoners picking up the trash.
Well, we either have to do that or we have to have it.
Another year, that thing needs to go. We need to start there about March and just put it in the paper.
Yeah. We'll put some more money there, go for the match. What's our match on that, Tim?
Well, it's 50/50. 3,000 was a grant. So as long as we.
You're saying we're over 6?
If he had worked since August, we're over 6. We're right under 6
Right now.
right now, paying him as he turned in his time sheet,
What was the last date on that time sheet?
July 31st.
No, we're gonna have to dive in it.
Right. Well, the match, that's what I asked you, you
We
said,
got 2,500 from the college.
There's more coming.
oh, there's more coming. Okay. And we received that.
We got 25.
So
Well, actually, that was for last year.
person doing this?
Eric Yoder,
I know you had him last year. Did you have him the year before?
I bet he's been here 4 years.
First year, Seth Butler did it 1 year.
Yeah, I remember.
He started it, did he do it the whole year then?
Um,
I can't remember, that was my first year.
yeah, I think he did. I hope so.
Somebody teach me how to drink this coffee.
Don't like it, or what?
I keep burning my mouth.
Another elevator bill.
On the elevator, we need to get a phone installed. Now, the phone itself and the installation has already been paid for under one of the previous elevator bills. That was part of what we had to do to get inspected. However, the elevator repair guy was not able to get a phone cord that he tracked and looked and worked to try to get a phone cord run over to it, and he did not accomplish it. So the onus has come back on us to get a phone line over there. Once, so I don't know if we're gonna have costs for a phone line, but other than, that should be the only other cost, and then our elevator should be in order. But how do you think I should approach trying to get a phone line over there?
Has to be an analog phone line, we can't be running some
Right,
system.
exactly.
So,
And I think there is an analog phone line over there, and that's what he was trying to go off of. He was down in the basement trying to crank cables.
yeah, there has to be a dedicated phone line. It can't be on with anything else, so that nobody else will already have it tied up when it tries to dial out. So, that's just one of the laws you're gonna have to have.
So who do we get Frontier to do that, or who can I get to do that?
Who's your, phone service director?
Frontier.
Just up if you want to have a separate analog line for it.
What's the reason for analog?
Because those phone systems work on it, the analog technically is supposed to be safer than the digital, it won't go down as awful, not have as many issues. And that analog line, they communicate better.
It has to do rollover too, the digital rolls over and.
Well, what it does, it's a different type of communication, totally different type. We're able to use some of those, it's called, we have to buy a separate piece of equipment that converts them back to analog lines so that they'll operate correctly. But you could do that here if you had.
Well, I think we do have that, I think our analog lines are converted to digital with this new phone system. Does that make sense?
Well, it's probably digital converted back to analog for your fax machines and that kind of stuff, because they still
Well, I
operate.
think you're right.
So they might be able to do that and put that piece in and just add that line right off your current. You might already have the numbers, so you may not have to pay for it. You might have to buy that piece of equipment. I don't know the technical name of it, I know our IT guys call it VG. Now, what that stands for, I don't know, but I know what they look like. It almost looks like a little router machine that you plug in and it'll light up and give you those analog lines and you can convert them ourselves. We have that on all our systems at the college. But also your fire alarm, when it dials, it has to go back to the analog system.
What percent of this, can we get back to the range?
50.
Just 50. that's increased over the years.
Yeah, I
Am I
think
close to the technical name of that? I don't know what,
I don't know what it
you know. I'm counting on you to know these things. You're in that technical world.
Just nobody knew you could talk about it.
That's why we have IT guys. I don't know enough about it. We call it in. Nobody knows that.
I would agree with everything you said.
That's about as far as I can go. I just,
The first pile of them done.
Shoot, I'm still trying to get through, and they don't get any smaller, there's no $5,000. So the assessor's valuation, and just 2%?
that is part of the grant,
Grant.
online project, grant budget control. And that is too.
Okay. Take that one.
That's grant, basement grant.
you get a chance to talk to them about what they discussed.
Yeah, you were correct in the way you look at the grant.
Tom, did you get over the about them doing cost analysis on our utilities?
I did. What we've got to do is we've got to put together the list of all the buildings that we want to look at and have that inventory file. And then I'll send in the number one county,
Yes,
so don't come do all that, no cost to us. And then they'll tell us what we have a project. Because if it's not feasible, for them, then they won't, look at it.
Do they farm those out to investors, like a loan, or how's that work?
No, they go to, they'll help you find the bank, or the bond, whichever way it needs to go. And then, they'll go through that finance, and have a separate financing one. So depending on what the requirements are, you've got to put out 30 days to bid for that money, then that's the way they'll go down that path. They'll get the approval from the Attorney General's office, and they got that. I don't remember the name of the bank. I think it was PNC Bank. Yeah.
Media folks, right now they're looking at several checks that have come in for the 911 tax fees that are on our phone bills. And that money all goes right back out to the Gilmer 911 center. But more and more we're finding out that when people are signing up for phone service, especially cell phone coverage, they're not getting the correct county. Example, you go to the mall, Meadowbrook Mall, go to Sprint, get a cell phone, they are putting on there most always Harrison County. So people are not aware. Eric Squires, who's, understands this stuff, recently went to Sprint to get a new phone, and they put Lewis County on. And he said, no, I'm Gilmer. Well, in that case, it's okay because Lewis is going to get it anyway. But they said, no, we can't change it now. We already started a contract. Well, that's not really true. You can't call. Maybe the guy didn't know how to change it that moment. So perhaps if you could put some kind of awareness issue out there when people are getting, especially cell phones, make sure you tell them, we're Gilmer County. Our 911 fees are Gilmer County. I've had to actually even take some of our county Frontier phone bills and call them and say, you got the wrong county on here.
That's, got several calls on that, on the frontier lines, they were doing for Kanawha County. And they were adding up the, local administration and sending all those taxes back to Kanawha County. That threw us with, mentioned that, so they had it took a long time to get straightened out.
No. You know, there's somebody smart enough somewhere to figure that out, too.
You know, if they want to.
No, I mean, figure it out before it ever started happening. Guarantee it, yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Most
got,
people don't understand, like Eric was saying in that example with Penn, he said to the guy, you know, Gilmer County, he said, oh, it doesn't matter. And Eric says, yes, it does, because Eric understands it does matter.
Is that all I want to do? You can stand in front, it's all one.
I know the last one I saw, those were the same.
I can't answer any questions about that, Eric. Why they do different. It may be different on Penn or two. If it's more than that, well, but you gotta take raise. Big fiscal year, that's the raise your fee. That's the only thing I can say, you raise your salary. Is that what I'm for you?
One different in July.
That'd be $2,400 a year.
amazing, anytime you do, company, so something to take back to this company.
Have you seen any big bucks over our way?
No, ain't big one.
Dave, you got any big bucks at your house?
So,
I saw a big one there last year. It was a little bit later than this, probably about the middle of September. Right at the bottom of Daniel Loftus Drive. I mean, it was big.
yeah, right about 6 o'clock, all come from the river.
Yeah.
back when I fished a lot, I fished that musky fish, that hole there behind your house, on public access up to the riffle there below the bridge. You know, those deer, they live right here on that river bank.
They do.
Yeah. Don't run off on it, this is exciting.
Uh-huh.
Question, I just want to ask a question on this one. This bill for $662 is for light bulbs, well, part of it's for light bulbs, over in the annex, there's the Board of Education office, $448. Do we buy light bulbs? They told Troy to order them, Jerry ordered them.
I don't ever remember buying light bulbs up to the annex. Man, that's must be good dollars.
It's a lot of money.
Let's ask, I'm gonna go ask Gary about this. Gary's the one that ordered it?
Yeah.
Never noticed. That's it right there.
That's it.
The bottom, Troy ordered them, Gary signed for them. The bottom ones, these are the bulbs that go in these lights. He doesn't have to order them very often for the last several years, but that's what those are for. The top ones is 34 footers. Troy said before the Cass came over, told him to order him some light bulbs. So Troy ordered him some light bulbs. I said, this the first time? He said, no, I did it one other time.
Wait, that's the road from where?
The annex, boy, has a custodian over there.
For the,
So he has, Troy ordered him some 4 footers. Stephanie ordered him 4 footers. But now, I'd like to have, we probably end up having to pay him, but I'd like to have Cindy to take this bill over to the Board of Ed and explain that this was for them, and in the past, they've always paid for their own bulbs.
I meant that.
Yeah, like if you rent it, unless you want to change the bulb.
And,
they don't pay for us.
what?
I mean, like, if I rent a place, the bulb goes out, I'll change it.
You change it, right. And that's what the agreement was. Troy, I told him, he doesn't need to be, don't order anymore tell Morgan to order his own bulbs. Right? I mean,
Yeah.
I think it will be 100%. If you rent a place, you do
So
those
will you
things.
set us up a meeting, will you call over the superintendent and set us up a meeting with him? Just tell him the commission would like to get with him at his convenience.
Not 10 minutes.
And really, Troy shouldn't be ordering anyway, because we don't know if this is the best place. We're paying 3 or 4 times more for miles, we don't know. That's just where they've always done it. And it may be good, and maybe a good price, but we don't know that.
Buddy, that's expensive bulbs. Now listen. $8 for a 4-foot fluorescent bulb, is that not expensive? Can we go tell Troy right now, can we have him over? But I don't have a problem, that's a good price right there. I'd rather Cindy look at all these things when stuff's ordered. Because I know, I can remember the time when we did an order off that guy right there, because those balls are high. It's like a traveling salesman ball.
Well, that's not what they, that's from, who's that from, Marty Wilson?
Universal product?
Sam's that,
I've never done it.
I know who you're talking about, but we don't know anything from. We order about all our, like, all either from Wesco or, State Electric. Yeah. Maybe they're twice a year. I'll tell you what, if you just crowd State Electric just a little bit, they'll get right down just about as close as.
so are we in agreement that these purchases for that? I thought there was already a policy that if they were over like $100 or something, that it had to be approved by the county commission. Is that not true? Did I just dream that up?
I think there was some sort of policy, yeah.
And I don't think it's good when you just order something and then it gets you a bill, and, regardless of,
Happens to me an awful lot, huh?
at home.
We're not
Yeah,
home.
home's different.
State's number. I don't like it there either, so, stay with it. Call them, ask what that light bulb should cost. We're since an outside light too. It's not an interior light. Not crazy, we're very big building.
Still, Troy should have been working balls with their hand.
Understood. Understood. Got no issue with any of that. Hey, Barry, call out, how you doing? Hey, what's the price now on a 48 for a 4-foot fluorescent light bulb? Yeah, it's not too good. It's just as like it says, super light, 13 watt. That's 48. That may not be it. Yeah, that's an outside. Might not be a 4-foot. Yeah, that's not what that is. That's an outside line for the mistakes.
The bottom is the top. Top, and it's a 4-foot.
That's, we have 40 feet 12. That's a 4-foot. Yeah, feet 12. I think they're the double pins.
Double pins.
What, I work for the single pin. I'm gonna do them for single.
No, I gotta go like make sure they down. Rick Smith put them in, it's 2 good ones, we've been down there, there's 4 of them. one of them stopped working, I changed all four bulbs, got four bulbs as big around as you think. Which
I'll
stand
send
up.
it on you, well, that's what I was doing, checking, I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. $7 for the single can, he said, no, I can't imagine that's what you got. I don't think there's.
Single pan?
Double pan. Double pan was $1.78.
I'm gonna get it, so we don't make
Well, I wonder if
mistakes.
these are still, I mean, have these already been used, or these still in a box somewhere?
He gave them to them.
Yeah, but if I haven't used them, I'll go to return. Wait, no.
No, Les, you can listen, Helen. Let's get on with this.
Not building.
Yeah. If you need something like that, Cindy can order.
Well, do you know if there's anything, if you can purchase bonds through the state contract?
Yeah,
Probably so.
there's a state contract on that. I don't remember who actually has it right now, whether it's Westfield or who, but the way that operates, about all of them, once somebody gets a state contract, you really gotta look at it. Sometimes you still buy it cheaper than you can on a state contract. So you just gotta get down the list and evaluate what that price is.
There's several of those things you can buy cheaper, you can buy on the state
Yeah,
contract.
as long as you either match the price or go better, you don't have to go with that state contract, but that's there as a guide. Yeah. I think Wesco maybe has the state contract on lighting again right now, but state electric is who we buy a lot of that from, and they either, most of the time are cheaper than the state contract price, or they match.
Yeah, that's convenient, because they deliver here.
right?
Yeah.
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Right, yeah, I've gotten a few things from them.
We just ordered all LED lights for the group. The recessed floodlights.
Yeah, those are cheap.
They just basically give them to you.
Yeah, about $28 a piece.
Yeah, more than that.
Depending on what you're getting.
You can only put 14 of them on the rheostat, too. Only 14 of them can go on, so.
Amazing the learning curve to get it.
Yeah.
We bought some of the LEDs that look like a natural candle.
Yeah.
And those are $28 a piece.
Yeah.
4 watt or something.
Yeah. These are the ones that look like a floodlight, they're 65 watt.
You know, it's probably-
Well, summer's about over, guys.
Yeah. I heard the Katy bids the other day. That's a sure sign false.
Yeah, there's one tree, I don't know what tree it is, it starts turning brown. It's one of the first ones that I'm seeing that happen.
Yeah.
The leaves are.
Around 67 degrees in those
Is that
for the last week, it
67?
got 12 degrees warmer than it's got.
Any more bills here, Cindy? That's the end of.
No, that's,
Oh, man.
you know what you miss by meeting twice a month now?
Huh?
You miss by meeting twice a month? You miss a big old stack like this. It does make a difference.
Yeah.
I can feel the difference since it's been only been like 3 weeks or so since we
Yeah.
met. But when you're waiting, your keep statements, your, for waiting.
Yeah.
Mine has air conditioner on it.
So So the extra pickup fee for the trash, was that a dumpster full, remind me, how, that
It was, a small dump truck.
small
They brought
dump?
one of their smaller trucks in and loaded it on.
Cleaned all that stuff out? Much better?
Yeah, they had more room in the records room. We got it out of the basement where we're doing the project. This is Debbie Cass. We cannot get her in here.
Oh, yeah?
Call. She, like, we're waiting for her signature, waiting for her receipts.
Good.
I think
She comes every three days.
she just comes with it. But, yeah, that's, we, a lot of times Angel has to go ahead and just do it and we get her signature later. But that shouldn't have to be.
Sure.
Just, you know, we waste time calling her over and over.
Yeah, the sheriff really our boss.
But you, Commissioner
Let
Kendall's
me get
budget.
this just a minute. Yeah.
I'll tell you, one of the first things I'm looking at will be cost effective, the electric and the meters.
So this right here is
Right,
for
so they're
tax.
trying to figure out what to consolidate things to all costs.
Yeah.
About the building time and network.
There's gotta be a pile savings up there.
Everybody signed it? Well, what's these initials? I'm gonna go for names. Take Yep. I would go with- I just, nobody really. Debbie, did someone approve the selling office?
If you ever stand and do the copy, you know,
Is that for the same tax, that's for the tax statements that went out that first of July?
Yes. Jay over there.
Let me go ask.
just did it here. Get a chance to talk to the print shop on where they get their paper.
No, I haven't tried to do that yet.
Yeah, go ahead and, no.
Lesson learned.
No, it don't. That's fine.
I'm gonna pass these through so that nobody's under there. Just verify that those, like Debbie said, it might be. That would about have to be for the tax credits. 11,000 envelopes. And it says 36,050 tax shells, whatever that is,
That's the
Paper
that's the
printed.
ticket sprinkler.
tickets. So, I think that's probably what it is.
Just the OES office, out of the state road garage. You have to have internet,
Oh, that's an internet.
homeland security requires.
I saw them do it. I don't know how much you did, but I did see them do it. One time, he was working out the grass run, he was clear where the old farmer's in bar was on the, going downhill, not rock top, but on
Right.
top. Got us up another Jake break.
Right, yeah. Yeah, what's his name? Daryl Allen. Daryl's got that sign, there's Jake Ray.
33 in my house, really, over there. Our windows are
I tell you, the only way you ever change it, in my opinion, is to put about 50 cents a can or a bottle, like they do up in New Hampshire, Vermont, it's 45 cents something.
The way you change that is education to the youth. You teach them that it's not right to throw things out the window. Because you're not gonna change the people that are,
It's slowly changing, you know.
It
When I
is.
was a kid, it was bad. Everyone threw everything out the window.
It's still bad down my way.
When I submitted that grant application for litter control, I actually asked for some additional money to do some education, just what you're talking about, do some
Yeah.
programs in the schools, but they didn't approve it.
See, all it's right where the guardrail is, I can't know, I have to first clean up.
yeah,
There's so many glass walls.
yeah.
Well, Brian, that,
First I gotta clean up
That-
windows.
I know what age group that is between the Mount Leading Creek, Black Hand Farm, that I have to pick stuff up all the time. I know what age group that is, and it's not middle-aged or seniors.
No, obviously not.
Post-secondary education.
Is there still traffic on that road there once was?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not, it's just, it's always there, it's always gonna be. This road's the best shape it's ever been in.
Pretty bad.
Drive a Cadillac through there now.
Pretty packed down.
Yeah, back down, it's hard. From the Mount Leading Creek to Flat Camp, Rodney put some stone in a little bit this year, but it's
They keep it
packed
rolling
down.
tight.
Yeah, they keep it rolling down tight. I would move that we pay the bills presented in the amount of $154,699.94.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I think we're ready for Angel. Yeah, please.
Do you want individual pictures? We can start on that. Save you time.
Probably this as well, or whatever.
Okay, so I'm gonna make sure that we don't have stuff. Can you sign it?
Sure, sure.
You want this?
You want my serious look or you want my normal smile?
Well, he just, you want this.
Oh, you know, listen. Here we go. Turn this way.
Just a little.
All right.
Turn, just go back a little bit more.
Like this?
The way you
This
want.
way?
Yeah.
Stick my head out, make it look bigger? Stick it back, make my shoulders look bigger. Which do you prefer?
down at the fair, they had, WU, I think,
I
so
like
they
that.
were taking pictures of your iris.
Background stuff.
All right, well, we'll do it after a while. Angel, the business at hand first.
There's John Lawson.
Hey, John. You got this?
Right here.
Hey, John.
All
Yeah. If you got there to ask him, that was so we'll know. We think you approved a couple bills here, John, but we weren't sure. And we were pretty sure they were for tax tickets and postage.
Hey, John, we can't get her to come in. She's not coming in, she's supposed to. We do her budget, you guys are kind of involved. Well, just, she.
It was right in that last pile, Cindy.
Yeah, I mean, just that she got stuff in
Should be here, right there at the
there.
top.
Top or bottom?
Should be right
Don't
there.
look like that.
here, Charles.
Well, it won't have to be here today. And it's basically range or just questions.
Should be, yeah.
They're right near the last.
Towards the last third.
But one of like, I want to forward you the other was like,
No, it was like 10,000.
Had postage.
It said 32,000 shells.
that's what it is, it's for the tax rate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like $2,000 or $3,000.
It looked like it was JM that John approved it, but do you remember doing
Do
that?
you, how would you sign, if you sign your name to something, how would you do it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not you then. No.
Pretty snazzy, though.
Might have been. It kind of had that little curl to it. I can't believe you can't find it.
Nice little curve right
Might have a nice little.
That's about pictures.
Maybe it's one up somewhere, guys?
Maybe it might, or maybe it didn't.
Come on here. There it is.
Uh,
Very bottom.
I was gonna say, it's the last bill.
That you?
That's it? All right.
Where's two? That's my unit number two.
Well,
Can't figure out the initial.
That's what I thought.
You got any more?
Nope, that'll do it. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
All right.
Thanks, John. Okay, Angel.
Okay, so here, $2,500 from, building equipment,
I had rain hard over away last night. You here?
in the night. Yeah.
I mean, it was like the sky opened up.
Over the building. So it was $800, I put that back in there, and also it should be, some of the, I put that back in there.
Now, if I had to tell me one more time. Oh, this is a wash. This grant's in the park. That's a $5,000 grant.
Yeah, I'll put that in there.
Okay.
For the whole.
Okay, I got you.
$800 is the,
And you just spin it down here. I got you. I got you. Good.
Motion to approve the budget revisions. So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. All right, Cindy.
I have a bunch of stuff, but I'll try to go fast. fuel tax credit, remember we started collecting our fuel, submitting for that free person fuel tax credit? Over the last fiscal year, we were able to get back almost $1,600.
That's good.
So that's good. Get a letter here from Humboldt State College asking for your cooperation in the Create West Virginia Conference, wanting some sponsorship.
Here we go. You, always you.
There's no doubt that would be a good gesture, issue as we have.
Can't do much of that right this second.
You know, you're on the senior board now, you supposed to sign one, what up? That might be able to help.
It's pretty loose with that money.
I know she is,
Yeah.
it has so little of it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Cindy.
Back to the fuel tax credit, because you need to get Ryan's signature on this 8849 form is for the IRS. It's basically a power of attorney to look into claims. If there's any problem with anything you submit, you can talk to the IRS. This is a power of attorney that would allow the P card people, the card that's doing our statements for us, it would allow him to, can't think of his name, it's on there. John Jasper. But anyway, it's legitimate. I mean, it makes sense. You have to have power of attorney to do someone's tax return.
Not through Bright Express.
No, it's through the state fleet card. That we have Writing Express.
Right.
We changed it to the purchasing card
Right,
and got their fleet card.
right.
And the benefit, one benefit is they'll do the fuel tax returns.
I think he's still running through Bright Express.
Do they?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Okay?
Yeah. Good.
Just FYI, I'll pass this to Jean, that you received a letter from the state auditor regarding the special access levy, just saying that they noticed that this was the year some of our levies are expiring, and it's a request for information to be sent to them, the sample, the ballots, the results, et cetera, et cetera. So that will go to Jean, what we're going to do during election time. I was asked to make sure that we were aware that the employees here collected money and sent flowers to John Ross's mom's funeral and also at Lynette's father's funeral. The basement project, the courthouse basement project that we're doing with Grant is well underway, it's going out for bid. We're going to have a pre-bid meeting here on August 28th at 1:30. August 28th at 1:30, and the bid opening will be September 10th at 1:30.
You'll give us a few days in advance, send us an email.
I'll remind you.
Pre-bid.
The broadband grant, the online project, that has officially ended in terms of the grant timing, but we're still working on tweaking some things. The website's developed, they're receiving, as you heard earlier, you can receive tax payments or any kind of payments for whatever, in Gene's office and also the sheriff's office. Also online, you can go online, you can look at maps and parcels, you can research tax tickets, and so all that stuff is live and active. The content of the website itself for each office will have their page, and the rec center and the OEM and all that's still being built in. But I'm just really excited about it. And also the county email, so everybody will have an official .gov email address. That's almost ready to go out. City litter control, we talked about that. The golf course insurance claim, Lynn's got me some information and invoices and stuff on cleaning up the rest of that out there, some volunteer time that was given. Also asking to get me information on the lost income for the 2.5 or so days that they couldn't operate the golf course. So he got me some historical information from whoever does the Brooks But anyway, all that was gathered together and submitted to the insurance claims. Insurance, we're waiting to hear from that. You signed for United Bank recently, due to, Brian, you were out of town, but you signed this United Bank letter authorizing the separation of the small accounts out of the general county account. This is the very same letter, but it needs to be re-signed because we had Larry W. Gerwig and this Larry D. Gerwig. So the bank went ahead and got everything separated, but we do need to get them an official letter with the correct middle initial for Larry. I have a copy of the bid, if anybody's interested in looking at it, that's going out through the courthouse basement. This is the bid advertisement. It will go out to a lot of different plan rooms and contractor sites, et cetera, as well as being advertised locally. Got a letter here from the Division of Public Transit regarding the MAP 21 program. President Obama is moving ahead for progress in the 21st century. And it's advising you of a meeting tomorrow in Upshur County regarding the MAP 21 program, which has to do with paving projects. So I don't know if anybody's interested in attending that. The date and location is on.
Paving projects in Gilmer County,
Well, for,
Department of Highways, or?
it's from West Virginia Division of Public Transportation, and I don't know a lot about the MAP 21 program, but it does have to do with paving projects. It's something that President Obama just signed recently. Are you familiar, Tom, with MAP 21?
I'd like to copy this, I'll take it to my Region 7 meeting tonight and ask them what they know about it.
That would be good.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah, that would be good.
Let's get a copy.
Okay. So I don't know, did you hear Angel say we got $800 back from the county commissioners? Okay. Sure if you heard that or not. This came in the mail to you guys. It has something to do with the bond, the bond, I believe, the bond that we signed with Oklahoma State College recently. But I don't understand it, so someone needs to look at it and see what we need to do, if anything, concerning that. Yeah, SEC disclosures. Compliance.
Review of where they did their.
A letter from the Division of Highways showing that their statewide transportation improvement program has put out on the web projects that they're proposing from 2015 to 2020. And we're in that comment period. So if you're interested in looking to see the comment, the website address is right there.
Does it specify any projects in this county?
I personally have not looked at it yet.
Okay.
Here's the web address. We just got the letter in August. We just got it like
Just got it,
a
yeah.
couple of days ago.
Is this on your to-do list or go to this?
Go to what?
Is it on your to-do list to go check this out?
Oh, yeah, yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
Thank you.
And I know that we've talked kind of unofficially here about receiving the $5,000 grant for the swimming pool, but I just wanted to announce this for the media's purpose, that that money came from our community's foundation,
It has been received.
and it has been received.
Do we need to send a thank you letter?
I did send them, thank you.
Thank you.
I want to follow up with a letter from there with some pictures. I've gotten some pictures from the kids actually swimming. They like to see pictures. And we had a $5,000 grant for recycling of electronics. That event is scheduled for September 13th from 9 to 3 at the Foodland Travel Lot. The advertisement that will start coming out next week will include a list of all types of electronic devices that can be recycled. Also, we'll have somebody on site that will be able to take old tires
Electronics and tires.
Electronics and tires.
And we do need to get that, you got that, Dave, electronics and tires.
I've got a big ad.
I think a lot of people, was there anything that
You wanna
spring
send
on
it?
tires? I gotta ask them. I think it was over, the state maybe had a little, one day that wasn't advertised very well.
There was, the Lewis Gilmer Solid Waste did something. And it was, I don't think it was advertised.
Just
They
was
didn't get a
not,
very good response, unfortunately.
we learned about it after the fact. When people started asking, where do you take the tires? And then they.
You remember the last one of those we did? The last cleanup
Real, the big one?
down the sheet
After the
factory.
sheep, oh
Got
yeah.
over 3,000 tires that
Yeah.
day.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember one, of course, been here a little longer, but I remember one out on the other side of the Department of Highways.
Yeah.
And that man right there brought enough computers and, you remember that day?
Monitors and everything.
My goodness, you've been saving for years.
Because you couldn't do anything with them.
But
Right, you can't
that's,
do anything.
and that is to our advantage.
Yeah.
It is to our advantage because they will take TVs, but they weigh TVs. And our TV weight has to be a certain percentage of our overall weight.
Yes.
Otherwise, we pay some extra. So the more overall stuff we can get,
Yeah.
bring it on, it'll save us some dollars and hopefully.
It's hard to get rid of TV or monitor.
They like those computers and those tires and everything. Apparently there's what, I know there's some gold down there.
They shred them.
Well, that's good, they recycle.
Chinese love.
Yeah, that's good they recycle.
Is that right?
Yeah, gold and copper, everything.
Are they doing anything with tires these days other than cut them up and bury them? Cut them up and
Or
bury
put them
them?
in playgrounds. They got them in Burnsville or something, that thing.
I just
They'll
found,
have some asphalt too.
I just found a big pile of tires, old bicycle, so.
If anybody knows where we might be able to borrow or even rent, we have to, a rim removal machine, equipment, whatever, for the events. Last time when I did this last fall, we were able to get one from Tire and Rubber. And we were able, people were actually brought tires in on old rims. And we were able to take off the rims, crush them, and use them as weight to recycle against our TV poundage overage. So we ended up not having to pay anything. That was another reason we didn't pay anything for TVs last time. But the rim removal is not available.
Well, now,
This day.
that's my next question. Who's doing it? Who's collecting?
Tire and Rubber's coming in to collect the tires, but their rim removal tool is at another location on that day. So they're trying to find someone else or some other way that we can remove tires and rims. Last thing I have is, it's been 3 months now since we established since we started the lease agreement with the fire department for the rental of the EMS building. And our agreement, every 3 months, we're supposed to get a bank report and a report of where we stand with that issue. So here's the bank statement showing that we have deposited $500 for 3 months. In this case, getting started, we did $1,500 at one time. We're just getting everything started. So it's time to report to them. Their next meeting is actually tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. So I don't know if somebody wants to take a report or how you want to handle that.
That can go.
It's dead. Oh,
He was dead when I came, that's not anything we did here.
so sorry. I always bring my charger with me.
We got some chargers downtown.
I'll guarantee you, in the last 6 months, I bought 6. Just like here.
Chargers?
Yeah. I get up, it's like here, I'll be at a meeting somewhere, plug it in, turn it on vibrate so they can get a hold of me at the grill. Somebody will call, I'll take it off the charger, put it in front of me and look at the text or look at whatever it is, lay the phone down after the meeting,
Gone.
I'm out of there.
Donate chargers.
I was going to look in here and make sure it wasn't put in there.
There'll be no iPhone 5 chargers laying around anywhere, I promise.
Oh, this middle thing right here is yours. Send you pictures. Yeah.
Is there other business coming before the commission? Motion to-
Just one thing, Mark, the fire department meeting, I've been told, but I just would still like a little more verification that the fire department does retain insurance whenever built, not something that we.
I'll ask them.
Just one, I've
Send me
been
a
told,
friendly reminder to that meeting tomorrow.
I've been told, of course, it's their building, they should,
Right.
and be smart, but just to verify that.
Okay.
They have to be one carrier, because they're the one that has the insurance and interest of the owner.
Right.
Do you want a copy of the statement today? Take with you?
No, I'll get it tomorrow.
Okay.
At some point, Brad, we had discussed a meeting with the elected officials sometime between now and.
Yeah, I'll set that up. I called, after you and I talked this morning, I called down to see if there was any progress on the, oil and gas severance stuff. Has not been any thus far. I called to check on the reimbursement, and I didn't get any. So, we're checking anyway.
Good thing.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?